Imagine a place so small it doesn't even show up on most maps. A country once dismissed as a fishing village, cast out from its union with Malaysia and left to fend for itself. Today, this tiny island nation is the richest country in Asia per capita, a towering financial hub and a global leader in technology and innovation. How did this happen? This is the story of Singapore. Why are there not more people talking about the incredible transformation of Singapore? It's 1965. Singapore is facing a future of uncertainty. Kicked out of Malaysia, with no natural resources and a multi-ethnic population filled with tensions. The odds were stacked against it. But what happened next was nothing short of a miracle. At the helm of this monumental transformation was a visionary leader, Lee Kuan Yew. Armed with a pragmatic approach, he knew that the survival of this new nation lay in its people and strategic decisions. It was a time for bold moves and decisive action. Singapore was dirt poor, with no resources, no defense, and a lack of employment opportunities. But Lee Kuan Yew and his team knew that the key to Singapore's survival lay in opening up to the world. With the help of foreign investors, Singapore positioned itself as a hub for trade, attracting multinational corporations to its shores. From manufacturing to shipping, Singapore quickly became a global port of choice. By the 1970s, Singapore had industrialized rapidly, focusing on electronics, chemicals, and shipbuilding. This was only the beginning. By the 1990s, Singapore's economy had diversified further, evolving into a financial hub. It wasn't just growing, it was outpacing almost every other nation in Asia. Singapore's transformation was nothing short of extraordinary. Singapore's rise to financial prominence wasn't by chance. With an incredibly business-friendly regulatory environment, it became a magnet for global capital. Behind this meteoric rise lay Singapore's unique financial strategy. With no natural resources, it couldn't depend on oil or minerals. Instead, it built wealth through sovereign funds like Temasek and GIC. By 2022, Singapore managed over $3.6 trillion in assets, just 8% behind Hong Kong, once Asia's financial leader. And with GIC managing over $769 billion in assets, Singapore's economy grew not just through industrialization, but through smart investments and diversification. Singapore didn't stop at finance. It became a hub for technological innovation, education and research. With initiatives like the Green Plan 2030, Singapore is positioning itself as a leader in clean energy, smart cities and cutting-edge technology, paving the way for the future. But even with its successes, Singapore faces new challenges. By 2030, nearly 25% of its population will be over 65. Social spending has already doubled in the last decade. Can Singapore sustain its growth with an aging population? And then there's the geopolitical tightrope Singapore walks. Nestled between two giants, China and the United States, Singapore relies heavily on trade. In the face of rising tensions, its very survival depends on its ability to navigate these complex waters. One misstep in global trade or a breakdown in relations between these two giants could see Singapore's GDP drop by as much as 10%. Enter Lawrence Wong, Singapore's next Prime Minister. The challenges he faces are unlike anything the nation has encountered before, balancing the demands of globalization with rising domestic pressures. Wong's task is delicate. How does Singapore maintain its edge in a rapidly changing world while keeping its citizens at the forefront of its growth and prosperity? From a small, struggling island to a global powerhouse, Singapore's story is one of resilience, vision, and unparalleled determination. But as the tides of globalization shift and new challenges emerge, the question remains: Will Singapore continue its upward trajectory, or will it face the same fate as other once great nations? One thing's for sure, the world will be watching. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more stories about the world we live in.